Over the course of World Monuments Fund's 47-year history, many of our projects have been at UNESCO World Heritage sites. Our engagement has ranged from catalytic support, helping local groups prepare sites for World Heritage inscription, to conservation work at sites already on the list. World Heritage cultural sites reflect the achievements of communities over time, and this vast array of special places recognizes that our planet is filled with extraordinary sites that range from the humble and obscure to the majestic and legendary. On the 40th anniversary of the UNESCO World Heritage Convention, World Monuments Fund takes a look at 8 of the nearly 100 UNESCO World Heritage sites where we have worked over our long history. Easter Island in the remote Pacific Ocean has captured the imagination of people all over the world with its universally recognizable, mysterious, and iconic moai sculptures. WMF began working on the island in the 1960s, partnering with the Chilean government and local groups. Over the years, we have supported documentation and monitoring projects, training programs, and conservation work on the moai sculptures. Our most recent work is focused on sustainable tourism. In the spring of 2011, a new green visitor center opened on the island with a ceremony featuring local Rapa Nui performers. One of the few World Heritage cultural sites in the United States, TAOS Pueblo is believed to be the oldest continually inhabited settlement in the U.S. As with many communities, TAOS residents wish to sustain the connection between generations by passing on traditional building techniques. Since the inclusion of TAOS Pueblo in the 2010 World Monuments Watch, WMF has been collaborating with the TAOS Tribal Council to train the rising generation of residents in traditional construction and maintenance techniques to ensure this important place survives long into the future. A lesser-known but highly significant site is St. John's Anglican Church in the World Heritage City of Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. Devastated by fire in 2001, just shy of its 250th anniversary, WMF assisted the local community with a restoration campaign supporting the conservation of the surviving historic components of the church, which included the ornate 19th century interior decoration. The project finished in 2005, and the church is once again a popular landmark. Scattered across modern-day Paraguay, Brazil, and Argentina are the remains of some 30 Jesuit missions built in the 17th and 18th centuries as a part of a campaign to convert the local Guarani population to Christianity. These missions, in various stages of ruin, were on the World Monuments Watch as a group in 2004, and several of the individual settlements have been the focus of WMF conservation efforts. At San Ignacio Mini in Argentina, we supported the conservation of the main portal and the development of an interpretation center. In 2009, we published a conservation manual designed to give local conservators an introduction to best practices for maintaining these important heritage sites. BUTRINT, an archaeological site in Albania, founded by the Greeks, colonized by the Romans, and later occupied by Ottoman Turks, faced serious conservation issues due to decades of neglect under communist rule. In the early 1990s, WMF joined the Albanian Institute of Monuments to revive work at the site, training local workers in site maintenance and supporting the construction of visitor facilities. ANKGOR is one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world, and among the most heavily visited tourist attractions in Asia. In the early 1990s, WMF was the first NGO to carry out conservation work at the site after the collapse of the Khmer Rouge, and since then we have worked continuously at a number of temples. A key component of our work has been the training of local Khmer conservators and architects to develop the skills necessary to maintain these sites in the future. Now that ANKGOR is a major tourism destination, with over 1 million people visiting annually, we are also working with our local teams to ensure the temples are able to withstand this increased traffic. For centuries, the island of KILWA Kisiwani was a major East African trading center ruled at various periods by native sultans, the Portuguese, and Omani rulers of Zanzibar. Kilwa's economic power declined in the 18th century, and by 1840 it was abandoned. Today, historic buildings on the island are in varying states of ruin. WMF's work at the site includes developing a sustainable management plan for the buildings as well as the local environment, which faces coastal erosion due to the destruction of mangrove forests. Our work with local populations includes training them in conservation and maintenance techniques and readying them for an inevitable increase in tourism as infrastructure improvements bring more visitors. The Alhambra, one of Western Europe's most famous heritage sites, has long been a beacon for tourists. Faced with ever-increasing tourist numbers, WMF joined the Patronato de la Alhambra in developing a sustainable tourism project that will open up new areas of the palace to visitors and change visitor circulation routes, thus relieving pressure on the more heavily trafficked areas and ensuring long-term preservation of this fragile heritage site. World Monuments Fund is proud to have worked at so many World Heritage sites over the years. The success of our training, conservation, and sustainability efforts at these sites will continue to encourage us to support and cultivate our partnerships for years to come.